All right, so Kayla Harrison was on the Ariel Helwani show earlier today, and she was talking about a lot of things, but one thing that rang, man, it rang like a bell, and it wasn't one of these little hidden nuggets that I usually come out with. This was just in your face, blatant. Ariel asked, he said, so you heard Chris Cyborg on my show. She was on my show. I asked her about you, and she kind of no-sold you. That's what he said, no-sold. I would say she kind of shaded you a bit. She shaded you. She was being real shady about, she was like, who is this person? Who is this person? Oh, the judo girl. Oh, the next Ronda Rousey. Okay, right, her. That is what Chris said. That is what Chris said. I thought that it was kind of funny. I was like, dag, I thought that maybe you'd be excited about, getting somebody who's kind of building a name a little bit, but she just straight up was like, man, not on my radar. That was Chris Cyborg. But Kayla Harrison said, her response to that was like, yeah, I heard her kind of do that on the show. I wasn't sure why, because she knows who I am. She's friends with me on Facebook. She's following me on Twitter. So I'm not quite sure why she came out and said that she doesn't know who I am. She knows who I am. She knows who I am, and she knows what moves I'm making in MMA right now. Kayla was feeling herself on that Ariel Helwani hour. She really, really was. She said that in a year, this is Kayla Harrison's words. I'm not elaborating. You guys know I can exaggerate. I can really add a little pepper to it. I can always add a little bit of spice to everything, but this is no spice. Straight up quote. Kayla Harrison said, I believe that in a year, I will be fighting Chris Cyborg. She said, by then I'll be 8-0 and I will have the experience to go up there and fight her. To prove that I am the best in the world. To prove to people that she's the best in the world. Kayla, man. When she said that, the first thing I thought about was, I actually had to think about full-time MMA. I was like, well, he called it. He has been saying she's going to be ready in 2 years. And I believe that would be a 2-year mark from her first fight. I believe that would be the 2-year mark. So he definitely called it. I love a good pick. Now, you guys know that I love a good pick. So shout out to Full-Time MMA. So yeah, Kayla Harrison just called out Chris Cyborg. I don't think that's a great idea, but I'm going to roll with it because it seems like Kayla might be able to sell a fight. I think Kayla can sell a fight. She's got a little grit in her oyster. She's got a little bit of grit in her oyster, man. It's the more and more I listened to the interview, the more and more I was like, oh gosh, whoa. That competitive nature is coming out. It's really coming out. She said she's going to be the best, without a doubt. She's going to be the best without a doubt. And she doesn't care what anybody thinks about it. She said, if people think it's too soon, I don't care. She said, I will be ready. She said that she almost didn't sign her PFL contract because she was wondering if she could get a chance to get a different contract, get the UFC contract to get into the UFC and then get a chance to fight Chris Cyborg, because she says she wants to fight her before she decides to retire. But then I realized this whole retired narrative with Chris Cyborg, because Cyborg was on the Coach's show, and she said that she will be coming back to MMA. The retire narrative, that's for the UFC. She wants the UFC to step up and give her some fights. I think that's what that's about. They're like, she's saying, you better use me now because I'm going to be gone. I'm not going to be sticking around forever. So, but anyways, Kayla did say that she said that she wanted to fight Cyborg before she retires. And man, I have no clue what to say about that right there. She might have just stepped in the mud with this one. She might have just stepped in the mud. She was smooth sailing. She was jogging along the trail perfectly fine, and she just stepped in dog doo. So, Cyborg is a beast. Cyborg is an absolute beast. Now, Kayla Harrison obviously has the size. She does have enough size, but a lot of things that Kayla Harrison said kind of threw me off a little bit, because she has the size to maybe tangle with a Chris Cyborg. Toss her around, I don't know about boxing her up, but she could probably toss her around. She's Olympic judo level. We can't overlook that. So she has the size to toss her around, but she said that she would cut down to 145, and she said that she was against doing weight cuts. So maybe it's not as extreme of a weight cut as we're thinking, but she said that she was against extreme weight cuts. But if you walk around at 170 and you cut 15 pounds, that's just under 10%. That's not bad. But then if you cut now you're cutting 25 pounds. I'm guessing she's saying that she would lose the weight first and then cut down. That's not a bad idea. But what I can say is I'm not going to get too excited about this because I feel like this is what Megan Anderson did. Megan Anderson was obviously not as much of a prospect as Kayla Harrison because Megan was just a good fighter in Invicta. She was just she had a good stand-up game in Invicta. But every time she got to the ground, she was lost in the sauce. Right? So, but Kayla Harrison comes in with 2 gold medals. I can just see the lead up for this fight. I know this is a dream matchup right here. Definitely a dream matchup because or not dream matchup, I'm sorry, fantasy matchup because it actually may never happen. This fight may never, ever happen. It should never happen, actually. There's no way that a person who's been fighting for 2 years professionally, skipped the amateurs, and they're fighting professionally for 2 years should be fighting Cris Cyborg. It just sounds like that shit should never be sanctioned. Never be sanctioned. But, if it does get sanctioned, Kayla Harrison comes in there, Cris Cyborg comes in there, face painted up, Brazilian flag, face painted up, Brazilian flag. She's yoked or whatever. She's got her, Cyborg isn't really yoked to me. She's, I don't know. She's just muscular, but she doesn't look overly muscular. I know a lot of people would beg to differ, but I don't think she looks overly muscular. But she comes in there, muscled up, looking aggressive, bodying people. The highlight footage is her bodying people up left and right. And then she has to walk up to, because they're gonna call Cris Cyborg out last. She walks up to Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison standing there in probably in an American jumpsuit, one of those Olympic American jumpsuits that they wear, with both gold medals on her chest. Both gold medals on her chest. Now I know Reebok ain't gonna have that, but Reebok would have to make some like exclusive American stuff with that one there. But 2 gold medals on the chest, people would get excited about that fight. People would actually get excited about that fight. Kayla Harrison comes in with something that a lot of people don't come in with. I know Cejudo's got it, but Cejudo's not really in an exciting weight class. And he doesn't have any exciting fanfare behind him. Female athletes who reach it to the top. When you go to the top of the mountain and you're a female athlete, there's a lot of accolades that you get because there's still this notion that women can't do it. It's so shocking that a woman has done it because usually there's still that sort of old school ideology. So, Kayla come in there with the 2 gold medals, with the American jumper on. And Cris Cyborg comes out face painted up, looking like she's been just drinking protein shakes left and right, 16 protein shakes a day. This could be a good fight, and I'm going to have fun with the fantasy of it because I actually think that it won't happen. I don't think it'll happen. If Megan Anderson had fought Cris Cyborg, I would have thought, this is definitely going to happen. All of these girls are going to start wanting to come up to the UFC and fight Cyborg, and each one is going to be better than the next. But they let Megan Anderson they let her get away with one. They really let her get away with one by ducking out on that fight with Cris Cyborg. And it's something that Megan Anderson will never live down. That thing haunts her every single day, all the time. And because of it, that shit haunts me too. I'm like, I don't know if Kayla will actually fight Cris Cyborg because I don't know if the UFC will get behind it. I don't know if when it comes time to really do it, will she get the nerves, man? Will she have the nerve to really go up against Cyborg? I don't know, but I'll tell you this. I'm excited to kind of see where it's headed. I'm going to say a couple more bits just about the PFL. She did sign on to PFL to do the tournament to fight for $1 million. There will be 12 other women at 155 fighting in that weight class for the tournament, and it starts in May. Starts May 2019. So, and it'll be ended by, I think, December, right? The last fight is always going to be in December. So she said by the end of that tournament, after she wins that tournament, she's fighting Cyborg. What Kayla Harrison basically did is she just sold all of her fights moving forward. She said if she wins that tournament, she is going on to fight Cyborg. She just sold every single fight leading up to Cyborg. And that's if she fights Cyborg. But the build-up should be quite nice. But I'll tell you, if she doesn't go through with it, the letdown is going to feel like somebody cracked her in the head with a sack of nickels. It will feel like somebody cracked her in the head with a sack of nickels, because when you get dropped by the UFC fans, we dropped your ass hard. Anyways, guys, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts in the comment section.